Ooh, this is a brawl deck, bro. Hello, good game. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're having a magical day. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Our subscribers get entered in to win not only 500,000 gems, but also I'll be buying someone's complete rare playset for the upcoming expansion, Adventure into the Forgotten Realms, aka Dungeons and Dragons, if you want to get in on that. So subscribe, jump in the Discord, put your name on the list. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But I know what you're looking for. What is today's video about, HGG? Well, Grixis Control version 3, right? Red, black, blue, some big baddies, lots of removal. Our third version of the deck performing very well in the play queue and competing actually quite nicely within the Mythic queue as well. In today's video, we're going to break down the deck list, talk about strategies, synergies, how do you pilot the deck effectively and efficiently. Then diving into our playlines and interactions throughout the gameplay footage, right? Giving you a more in-depth idea of how the technical side or the theoretical side will actually play out within the meta. Then we're going to wrap up with our final thoughts and deck review, taking all of what we've learned into account and kind of projecting where we want the deck to go from here. Of course, this whole process is meant to give you, the viewer, a good idea whether or not the deck is right for your personal playstyle and, of course, your wildcard collection. If you haven't already done so, like the heck out of that video, and let's get into it. Grixis Control, Volume 3, 60 card, best of 1, 4.1 average mana value, with a heavy ratio of non-creatures to creatures, and we have the 24 land to assist the more aggressive curve. Plus, we do have the ability to, in the deck, create treasures, allowing us to ramp ahead if we need. Most notably, Magma Opus for 8 mana, instant speed, dividing 4 damage as we choose among any number of targets, which is pretty cool. Well, obviously only 4. But then we get to tap 2 permanents, make a 4/4, and draw 2 cards. This is an incredible spell at instant speed, but it gets better than that. We can discard it early game for 2 mana to create a treasure token. We can also use the Flamethrower Sonata to discard cards. Then we get to draw a card. That's quite nice. We'll deal damage to a creature or planeswalker equal to that discard's card mana value if it was an instant or sorcery, which the whole deck is, which is really nice. We can also utilize those discarded cards through something like the Torrent Sculptor, a 2/2 for 4 with ward for 2, meaning your opponent has to pay an additional 2 to target it. When Torrent Sculptor enters the battlefield, exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard, put any number of +1/+1 counters on the Sculptor equal to half that card's mana cost, right? So we can, turn 2, discard the Opus, make the treasure, and then turn 3, play the Sculpture. It's now a 6/6, a 2/2 with 4 1/1 counters on it, and it has Ward 2, which your opponent probably can't afford to remove a 4/4 on 1 mana or on 2 mana even, because they're going to have to pay for that ward. It has the counters, so Heartless Act doesn't get it. It's 4 mana, so Eliminate doesn't get it. It's like, what you got, Willis, right? So that's a really nice part of the situation. You can also utilize the discarded cards or the cards in our grave in general through something like Draconic Intervention for 4 mana at sorcery speed. Only 2 copies of this in deck with the Sculpture. We're kind of splitting it, taking the next step into the evolution of Grixis Control. We'll explain more on that later. As an additional cost to cast Draconic Intervention, you have to exile a sorcery or instant from your graveyard. The intervention will deal X damage, where X is equal to that card's that was exiled's mana value. And then if creatures would die this turn, they're actually exiled instead. And of course, once you've cast the intervention, you yourself have to exile the card because it's just too dang powerful to recast from your grave. So that's really, really nice, right? So we can utilize cards from the graveyard that way. We can also just discard the Opus early game for the ramp and have it come back into our deck with something like the Midnight Clock, an artifact for 3, tap to add a blue source. So it's really like it only costs 2, not that you can drop it on turn 2, but it has that mana reduction, which, value similar to the Prismari Command for 3 mana that creates a treasure token, right? I like to think of these things as costing less than they do because they generate mana. For 3 mana, you can put an hour counter on the clock, and at the beginning of each player's upkeep, an hour counter is organically put on the clock. Once you've accumulated 12 hour counters, you're going to shuffle your graveyard and your hand into your library, draw 7. Wow, that's really good. So you can discard the Opus, get the ramp, play the clock, you know, utilize the treasure if you want, then boom, Opus back in your deck. You can draw it late game. Now you've got the midnight clock for ramp. You've drawn more land, and you can, you know, start hard casting that Opus, which is really a lot of fun. Prismari Command, I think we mentioned this in passing. Instant speed for 3, 2 damage to any target. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards. Target player creates a treasure token, destroy target artifact, and we're able to choose 2 of the lists above, which is really, really powerful for 3 mana. You know, woof. That's all I have to say there. It's delicious. You know, branching off from that, we have a lot of control in the deck. 2 copies of Eliminate, instant speed, destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less. 3 copies of Eliminate, instant speed for 2, choose 1, destroy creature with no counters on it, or remove 3 counters from a creature. We also have 4 copies of Baleful Mastery, instant speed for 4, exile creature or planeswalker. We can cast it for 2, but if we do, our opponent gets to draw a card. And then we have a field wipe alongside Draconic Intervention, Shadow's Verdict, sorcery speed for 5, exile all creatures and planeswalkers from the battlefield and graveyard with mana value 3 or less. Big woof. And of course, you know, branching off into some of the more powerful cards in the deck, Professor Onyx for 6 mana, Magecraft as a static ability. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Wow. +1, you lose 1 life. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand, the rest into the grave. Big woof. -3, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. Decent. And -8, each opponent may discard a card. If they don't, they lose 3 life. Repeat this process 6 more times for a total of 7. Goodness gracious, Professor Onyx. And if that wasn't bad enough, we have a single copy of Ugin in deck as the insurance policy. 7 loyalty, 8 mana, +2, 3 damage to any target, -X, exiling each permanent with mana value X or less that's 1 or more colors. Anything that's not colorless, -10. You gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and then put 7 permanents from your hand into play. Woof. And, you know, that's really cool. We have draw through the Mazemind Tome. We can tap it to scry. We can pay 2 tap it to draw a card. Every time we tap it, we accumulate a page counter. Once there's been 4 counters accumulated on it, we sacrifice it to exile and gain 4 life, which is really nice. And then finally, but certainly not least, Rowan, Scholar of Sparks, and Will, Scholar of Frost. Sparks for 3, Frost for 5. They both have the same static ability, instances and sorceries, cast for 1 less. +1 on Rowan, dealing 1 damage to each opponent. If you've drawn more than 3 cards this turn, deal 3 damage to each opponent, which is quite nice. -4, you get an emblem with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may pay 2 if you do copy that spell and choose new targets for the copy. Will for 4 loyalty when he enters, Rowan for 2 loyalty. Will +1, up to 1 target creature has base power and toughness of 0-2 until your next turn. -3, draw 2 cards, which is, you know, delicious. And -7, exile up to 5 target permanents. For each permanent exile this way, its controller creates a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token, right? So there is a lot to digest here. We have the Barrens as our attacking creatures late game if we want, paying 4, putting 2 +1/+1 counters on it every time we do, having the choice to have it come in the battlefield when we do so. We've got the Scrylands, that's brand new, and we've got the pathways for consistency. Woo! Okay, so now let's talk about some of the more in-depth plays that we're going to be making. Shadow's Verdict wipes all of the tokens, right? And we're making tokens sometimes with Magma Opus. So it is sometimes in our best interest to, if we can, use Draconic Intervention and wipe with a 3 CMC card, right? Wipe all the creatures for 3 damage. That's going to leave your 4/4 alive, which is really nice. The same situation goes with your 6/6. Right? This, fortunately enough, survives Shadow's Verdict, which is super duper handy in the deck. To have a 6/6, wipe all your creatures from your opponent and then take an attack, that's great. But again, if you're doing a massive hit with the intervention, you know, definitely be aware of your creature there, and you might only want to hit stuff for 5, and then potentially, you know, maybe some things survive and you still want to kill them this turn. Do the excess damage with something like Prismari Command just to finish them off, if you can, right? So that's something more in-depth, so you're not losing your Sculptor, you're not losing your token from your Opus, the Elemental, right? Just more in-depth plays than you typically think of until the time comes and you mess the play up, right? So that is really cool. Of course, the deck is fire. I really like it. What would you guys change about it? Keep this in mind while you're watching the gameplay footage today, and then we'll meet up at the end to discuss all of that after the gameplay. So again, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. The time you spend here with me on the channel does not go unnoticed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and support the channel through the Linktree link, whether it's our Patreon, any of our affiliate links as well. Cheers, enjoy the gameplay, and again, we're gonna be right back to wrap up after this. Alrighty, another day in the fray. Can we survive? We just went 4-0 or 5-0 with this deck in the play queue. So I have high hopes. That can be a red source for Opus. We do need a blue source as well here. Ranking up against number 291, Bog Done. Welcome to the show, Bog. Hope you're having a magical day. Look forward to playing you. It's Golgari. Interesting. It's probably multicolor. Gods. Why else would you run the tree? They're playing slow, so let's just take the scry, right? We'll set a stop on our upkeep too if we don't get the blue source, and maybe double scry. Not a necessity, but it could be helpful. It could be helpful indeed. How's the mic? How's the audio been in these last few videos, you guys? Is it still good? I definitely took my mic a lot further away. It used to be like right up in my junk. But I did some rearranging. I think it's a little bit better. Maybe if I even lifted it up a little bit here. Boom. Something like this. Maybe, and then it's kind of... I don't know. Our opponent's definitely thinking about what to do here. Greenland. Let's take the scry. That kind of does fit our requirement here. We'll allow it. Take the scry again. And I do like command as well. Especially now that we have our blue source. We can pass our turn, discard an Opus. Is Shadow's Verdict going to be relevant? They're ramping. I'm not entirely sure what deck we're seeing right here. Interesting. Maybe some of you guys who watch more content than me can big brain this. What deck is this? Oh, actually, we're just putting tokens on here at that point. I forgot we already had the scry. Admittedly, I'm not 100% on my best today. This is an easy takedown for us. Let's take the draw. Passing our turn. I hope they don't have another. We're sitting on 5/6 mana. Goose in play. We can zap it with command. Make another treasure. It goes through. Interesting. They're just gaining life? What? I'll draw a card. Why do they need life? Is there counter magic? Can we go straight to Onyx? Hopefully there's not a Vorinclex. Pretty please. Well, that would save us from it. Perfect. If there was a Vorinclex, now we can exile it. They do get a draw, but at the end of the day, if it's keeping Professor Onyx alive, it's going to be worth it. That's their second Vorinclex. Oh, do they have a counter here? Don't you dare do this to me, Willis. Don't you do this to me. We don't have the land for Opus, so we have to take Mastery.
There has to be an answer here.
Let's pass our turn here. Interesting. So 2 Vorinclexes dealt with. What else is happening here? Kaya can immediately exile. Oof. Woof! We'll deal 2 damage.
Innocent people are slaughtered.
Let's get the Magecraft going first. There wasn't a counter hold up there. Okay.
Guess you don't need mine.
I was worried that there might have been a counter in hand here. Search is kind of cool. That's Scry at the very least. Let's pass our turn. Still playing reactive. The Scry kind of annoys me here. Right, that's really good for them. There's no way to get rid of that other than this guy right here. So. What's that last card? While it's tapped, they can't counter this. And we tap their other land, right? We deal 4 damage to Ugin. We get a 4/4. We draw 2 cards. They have 1 land. Then we finish it off. Let's draw 2, discard 2. End our turn. That Scry is still ultra annoying. How many more Ugins will we have to deal with? Ooh! This is a brawl deck, bro? We need our own Ugin. Whoa. Okay, so we have like quite a bit of pressure. A prismatic bridge almost gave me a heart attack. I feel like, jeez Louise. Crazy. Well, that's not good either. Wow. Okay, so this is actually good for us.
I didn't like you anyway. Stay on the trail.
We draw lands. We can hit for 12. Breathe, HGG. Honestly. So if we cast this for 4, right, and we exile something for 2 or 3, that works. And then we can kill Zika for 2, which is only 6 mana, correct? 3 red sources. This will work. And then we have our 10. Normally I don't get nervous like this ever. Just a Cobra, that's actually not the worst for us. I didn't want to Shadow because I wanted to keep the 4/4 Elemental to apply as much pressure as possible. All right. What is the Foretell card? Oh, nasty. That's nasty, yo. This has to be a removal card. I think we've got it. The win streak continues. 5 in the play queue, and we just take down a top 300 player, almost popping my cardiovascular system. My poor heart. We're still a percent player. That's the life of a deck brewer. It's really hard to climb rank when it's always a new deck here, new deck there, new deck everywhere. But that was a great match of Magic. 2 original decks. What is up with this deck in the top 300? What? That is gas, right? The Prismatic Bridge, in search of greatness. Woo! All right, let's play another. Going first. I mean, first off, massive shout out to our opponent. Not only are they top 1,000, top 700 in that, but TMG, just, I know they're probably not dyslexic and they're probably not meaning MTG, but it just, like, it makes my brain smile. I thought I'd share that. The hand looks good, right? We've got a Scry land to start. Scry again, second turn with Tome. All 3 land in deck. Baleful Mastery, my favorite card ever. Well, not ever, but like in Strixhaven, I think. We're not ramping until next turn. Is it mono red? What's going on here, Willis? Oh, it is. Robber of the Rich. Funny how you can kind of predict those things, right? My camera's kind of flared out today. I don't appreciate that. Fix yourself, auto balance. It's alright though. Black for Shadow's Verdict. Or red for Intervention after this. We're going to have the Command as well. Actually cancel. What if... Is Onyx an artifact or... It's an enchantment creature, not an artifact. Let me just wait. Right, we'll do it at the appropriate phase. It's not Onyx, so it doesn't matter. Onyx is an enchantment. I know this. So we snag the robber. Make a treasure. One damage. That's pretty good. Let's take a scry. Just looking for land. A red source, in fact, would be ideal. Putting a stop. So we can look for a land again. Yeah, still keep it, even though it's not a red source. Do we wipe it now or do we wait? Let's wait. I know that's risky biscuits, but let's see what's going on here. I want to get that land right away. I want the Faceless Haven. That's why I love Baleful Mastery so much. It snags that Haven. They're thinking about it, right? Contemplating, you know, what we've got going on. They've not really seen much. They know we have Grixis land and a command, so. Kind of awkward. I may even just take the damage. It's hard to say. Really hard to say what I'll do here. I guess I'll leave it till last minute till I decide. They're gonna use a timeout. They play a land. That's really good. They're checking what we've got going on. Right, checking what they've got going on. It's good. So we can't Shadow's Verdict this, which is kind of a bummer. But we can just quickly snag it. Right. Taking 5 damage here. It's not pleasant. but, you know, it happens. Let's take our turn. Oof. Well, we can actually take everything out with this. It sucks that we have to draw another red land, though. Let's just take it. Pass our turn. Down to 8 as a very best case scenario. Okay, that's an Annex finally, no damage. Take a scry, looking for a red land, and then setting a stop, looking for another red land if we don't find the first. Barrens is good, but it's not what we need. All we need is a red source. It's really easy. Really easy. Come on. Oh no! Let's pass our turn. We could have clocked and mastery to give them the draw. That might have been a good play, but... Let's see if we get cleaved here. Phoenix is good. That's the blockers. Let's take Annex out. +3 to pump the Phoenix, I believe. Gives it +2/+0. We should have cast the intervention earlier, and now we could have cast the verdict, and that's what I was worried about. I was seriously contemplating that. We should have went with our gut feeling that the second red source would be hard to find. Shoot! Shoot! So we're getting hit for 6 here. Best case, down to 8. Okay, Cleave's really good. We need a red source off the top! Come on! No! That does help. Cleave's still in play, though, and they have access to the Haven. We still need that red source. We need that red source. Oh, no, we don't. We need a Baleful Mastery. We 100% need a Baleful Mastery here. Oh, gosh. That land messed us up. That earlier play, we took damage that we didn't need to take earlier. That is an artifact, but we're still taking 4 damage. This does not work. Why don't you do 3 damage to any target? We can destroy the artifact, draw 2, discard 2, try to find a Baleful Mastery, cast the Mastery for 2 on the Haven. I mean, as long as you have a plan, right? Oh, that's not it. Good game. Oh! That was a good game. It was close. I just couldn't get to that red land. We misplayed the wipes. Should have went with the intervention first. Held up the verdict. And definitely not dropped that mastery on Onyx when we could have saved it for the Haven. A few misplays there, just to recap for you guys, right? Because, you know, that's the thought process that I'm going through to become a better player each day. And, you know, I want to share that with everybody as well. And you can, you know, you can't stick your hand in a jar of honey without getting some on it, right? I think that's a saying, right? Okay, that was a tough match, but it has to happen. Let's see if we can redeem ourselves here. Shadow's Verdict probably is a keep. Opus is a land. Or a treasure, really. Oh, it's a good keep. It's a good keep. It's a good keep. Let's pass our turn. We could even just act this thing. Nice. Next turn we'd have 3. But we don't guaranteed have that land, right? So I'm gonna kill this. If we had the land, then I would definitely 100% go for it. And now we're just looking for a second black source with this tome. Put a stop in case we don't find it on our first scry. So they're taking Shadow's Verdict here, without a doubt. That's why Elite Spellbinder is so good. What a house of a card. Legendary. Take the stop off. We're just gonna kill the Spellbinder. We'll give them a chance to put the counter on the Spellbinder. Nope. Since there's indestructible, we take it now. Getting hit for 3 here. Not pleasant. Definitely need that. Those lands. Please, sir, may I have a land? Again, setting our stop. Not a black source. It's better than no land, though. It's better than no land, and it helps us find our next land. Right? Ooh! Shadow's Verdict! Got back to me! Down to 15. We could discard and make that black source, which would be our 5th copy. I'm wondering if we scry or draw. I think we scry and discard. Well, we could also give them the draw. Let's take the scry first, see what we're dealing with. Please be a land or a verdict. Oh. That is good. We have the mana to cast it. So we discard this. Or we use this right now, it goes to the grave. Let's not give them the draw. They're dealing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. Can we take 9 damage here? I think we can. Or do we just wipe it? Give them the dumb land. I don't know, right? Going down to 9 is risky. This might upset them enough. I'm also wondering what's up with my client. We got that orange bar right in front. Should we restart? No, they're here. You can see them selecting cards. This is an exile effect, my friend. Oopsie doopsie. Take our draw. And then we get rid of our mastery. Wipe the rest of them. It doesn't matter that they sacked their dog. It was going anyways. You know what I mean? It's almost better this way because now it's in the grave instead. Potentially a suspect play. What if they big-brained a screen sheet in with a misplay? Like they knit it in so you thought it was a misplay, but they actually seen that we were going to exile it and they have Luris and they want to bring it back. So maybe it wasn't a mistake, though. You know what I mean? Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Oh, well. Well. Super duper suspect. They could have still done it on the stack once we did intervention. I don't know. That one could go either way. Oh, man. Interesting. You can't fool me, Dream Slayer. I got you, bruh. I got you, bruh. Take a scry here. Where's the land at? Or even, you know, just more wipes. More interventions and stuff like this. Another Draconic Intervention right off the top would be ideal. We're doing all this on 4 land. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. That speaker's probably going to enter play. Oh. We should have done it earlier because I forgot the situation we were in when the... Because they just got a speaker for free because I waited for no reason. We can still cast our Eliminate. We need to draw a land, cycle the Opus. Oh, wow. They actually, this is a smart individual. They know what's happening. Maybe we can throw our Barrens in front of something without them kind of realizing. Not that I should say that out loud, right? Sometimes you gotta play her close to the chest. Even Castle Ardenvale with the Maul is like stupid good. We're so shy on land too. Kill the dog here, and then we eliminate. Don't give up the fight. So, you know, it's still 6 damage. Down to 8. They're at 24. We get our second black source. And we wait until they're attacking so they can't re-equip the mole. We're going down to 5. Yeah, they shouldn't have attacked with the dog. Yikes. Yeah, it's that Castle Ardenvale just wins the game, right? Good game. They put their maul on something, and that's just lethal. We don't get it. We do not get it. Can I get a good game back, bro? Can I get a good game back, bro? They're not into it. They still equip them all, and, you know, 6 damage. I don't even know why we're here. Just make sure that they figured it all out. The double flying, a big pain. And this was an undefeated deck. We went 5-0 in the play queue, and, you know, had a really nice first match, but a couple awkward situations here. The land in this matchup was horrible. That's fine, though. I like the deck. I like the deck. Let's break it down. Talk about where we can go with it from here. Big woofs. You know, Grixis control doing the dirty. That first game was incredible. I really enjoyed that. The second two hurts a little bit more than I would have liked them to, but that's the name of the game, right? New decks every day, always trying to update them and change them a little bit so it's fresh content while remaining as competitive as we can. And today's after game discussion, right? This is what I want to start fostering the environment of, because without it, we're just consuming content. How do we make the deck better? How did this deck stack up against the last version of it? Last version, we had 4 Torrent Sculptures. I think maybe this is a better bet. We dropped some interventions, we dropped some sculptures, and we added Midnight Clock so we can bring those cards back. So do we want to focus on intervention and sculpture, or should we focus on the Midnight Clock bringing the Opus back, right? For this version, I kind of just blended it because it was a new idea. I didn't want to bail ship on what I knew was working, but I did kind of want to test that new aspect. How did you guys think that fared? Let me know your personal ideas, opinions in the comments below. Maybe we'll work them into our next version. You never know. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel to partake in all of our goodies, and you can find all of those goodies within the Linktree link, description below, or give it a Google. Have a magical day, and we'll see you soon in the next.